Hello my fellow dollies. Before I start the video, did you know that Pup Benny has made an Oddworld fan game? I suggest checking his channel for more information. If you want me to Gachify it like I did with the other Oddworld games, let me know in the comments. I've also done the same thing to Poppy Playtime and hope to Gachify other medias. Plans include Dark Deception and Cuphead. I'm also currently working on my first cringe comp, so look out for that. With that said, thank you for your patience and enjoy the video.
Have you ever used a video camera before? Stranger, is something wrong? You got to record this. Record what? That sure was scary.
It sure was. How long was I out?
I don't know. You were out for quite a while.
Munch showed me the whole footage. We tried everything we could to wake you up, till one of them spirits suggested that we feed you blackcurrant tea.
Say what?
Blackcurrant tea! We found the recipe in the same cookbook. It's supposed to wake someone up and give them energy. We just had to mix blackcurrants and tea together, and voila!
Thanks, I guess. Where are we? How do you think we should put an end to the Mudead house?
I'll think of something. Let's try and find the other part of the next movie. Maybe it's hidden in one of these bookshelves.
Hey, what happened to the ghost girl?
She just disappeared as soon as you fell unconscious.
Aslick. Addiction, violence, indoor Mudakan tossing. Nah, we've had enough of slavery. Stitches and Bolts by Dr. Frankenbaker. This is based on a true story.
When I was born, I dislocated my jaw, so I had to have surgery to fix it. Bear in mind that I was a newborn at the time. Despite my mother having purple skin, I was born with green skin because I got it from my father. Though unlike other baby Vikers, I had 2 arms, no legs, and suckers in my head. As a toddler, I grew another pair of arms, and even 3 stumpy legs. I became independent and developed my skills on my own. When I became a child, my suckers began to fall out of my head because I was too old for them. I studied hard and got high grades. I basically lived a life like any other writer, except for one thing: my hobby and the job I have now. Others wanted to satisfy consumers with pharmaceutical products. I wanted to bring the dead back to life. During my teen years, I would create voodoo dolls by collecting fabric such as rag and sewing the materials together. A secret company known as the Black Collar Cult suddenly got involved when they discovered my dolls, so they stealthily asked me if I wanted to take part in an experiment. I obliged and hid in their hideaway, which was sheer luck because my parents had a night off work. The Black Collar Cult taught me how to bind others with my dolls by performing rituals. They also taught me even more stuff, which is too dark for me to dig through. I got on very well with the leader, who went by the name of Count Chompula. Chompula was a vampire glutton and cared a lot about his company. He became paranoid when employees started going missing, so he suggested that I put them back together. I had a talent for sewing, so the needle and thread went through the flesh like a knife through butter. I then repeated the rituals I learned, bringing security back to life. I thought I dodged a bullet until a year later when I failed to get rid of the evidence, as well as arrive home at the wrong time. My mother had woken up to use the bathroom, and she caught me red-clawed. My arms were covered in blood, and there was a voodoo doll in my hand. I tried to explain, but she was too furious to listen, so I ended up thrown out. This caused me to sink into a deep, especially since I was homeless with no moolah. I would have taken my own life if it weren't for Humphrey. I had become a young adult at the time and was desperate to escape. It took him a while to talk me out of myself with some broken glass until I eventually gave up and cried in his arms. Thankfully, not leaking out my secret, I told him that I was thrown out for doing something bad. That something was my dream, and I had to give it up because it turned me into an improper Viker. Due to his ambitious and optimistic personality, however, Humphrey told me to not give up and instead think big. Yeah, he was one of those Vikers. Apparently, he worked for a company known as Viker's Fine Foods Division and had been recently promoted to head of Snack Food Activities Group after creating an incredibly efficient netting system. Understanding that I was homeless, Humphrey took me to a homeless shelter. There, I was able to learn how to take care of myself and live on my own in the future. But if I wanted to have a home, I would need moolah, which can be earned from working. Coincidentally, the shelter was near the company Humphrey worked for, so I decided to work there. He and me were great colleagues, and I was able to learn more about him. I also learned that Humphrey created a way of converting toxic waste into highly profitable food preservatives. My job was great, until my early retirement. I was decapitated when I was too close to a ceiling fan. I was trying to get something from the top shelf, unaware of my fate. Despite this, I was taken to the hospital anyway. When I developed consciousness, I was told that my brain and organs were rewired and replaced with different organs and my limbs were sewn back together. My neck had become weak and stiff, and I had breathing problems, so I had to have bolts inside my neck. I had to stay there for a week, just in case anything else happened to me. When I fully recovered, Humphrey gave me a cookbook he found in the local library, so I could keep my skill and let my inspiration flow. Now that I had moolah from my old job, I was able to move to the west. Surprisingly, Count Champula was hiding there, so he couldn't be recognized. Despite it being nighttime, we were able to catch up.
That was when I learned that the Black Hole Occult was shut down by a Mudead with blue skin, yellow eyes, stitched lips, long red hair, an orange crop top, orange loincloth, and some weird doodles on the back of both hands. I also learned that Champula had a mansion now, and he even asked me to stay there. Though the occult no longer exists, we have a new company now, which is a reboot, the Mudead House. It's called the Mudead House due to how many foolish Mudokans have entered but never have come out alive. My bolts are a special accessory, not only to help me breathe, but to power machinery. I use them to drain the life out of the natives and turn them into Mudambies. There was one Mudokan, however, who became a skeleton, since I used a different method by injecting something into his body so his skin could fall apart. Sometimes I collect dead industrial bodies and bring them back to life. One of my experiments went wrong on a diseased slig. Instead of reviving him, he became a werewolf. At least we have a new pet though. Count Champula and I are unstoppable, as they'll never find us. And if we see him try, you know what we'll do. Achoo!
Dude, don't panic, but read this. Then run.
Hello, slaves. Count Champula was meant to write this message, but due to lack of arms, I had to do it for him. You are now in the history and research area of the house. You should probably leave before I enter the room, even though there's nowhere to hide. The back door, which leads to the graveyard, will unlock at 4 AM. Did I not mention that Mudambies usually roam in that area? Frankenlaker.
I know where you are! Come out, wherever you are. I know you're somewhere because I found evidence.
I can't attack the vodka with fuzzles. It's just too risky.
I know what to do. We gotta hide together.
Won't you explain why my letter is on the floor, and why there are Mudokan fingerprints on my own nipple? And why are there empty beakers on the floor?
We better skedaddle.
And why did I find an eggshell in the bathroom? And why is the cabinet empty and open?
How are we gonna survive now?
Actually, I found a key in one of them bookshelves. If it doesn't fit, then it's a dead end.
Where are you? Maybe they're still in bed.
Did you find the shaman guy?
Who?
Oh, right. An elderly Mudead shaman is here too, and we actually went there to find him and save him. Maybe Frankenvalker has him.
Actually, he was carrying a Glacken's corpse, not a Mudakan.
Was he the Viker who tried to find us? And why was he carrying a Glacken's corpse?
I think I might know why. I read in a book which mentioned something about that Frankenvalker guy reviving those mean bad guys.
If he does revolve them, then...
Why are you here, Rusk?
Not only do I know how you can save the tortured undead, but I also know how you can destroy the Mudead house. Hey, Bunch! I heard you blew up Viker's labs, am I right? Well, it's been rumored that there are explosives hidden in the catacombs. The catacombs are in the graveyard. You can't enter the graveyard until 4 a.m. Be careful while you're there, though, as the undead have lost their memory, so they'll mistake you as a threat. Yeah, take a look through the telescope.
Hey, Rusk? What's the totem for?
We Mudokans created this team before we were eternally cursed. When a shock of lightning strikes the top of the totem, it'll send a signal. Unfortunately, the lightning keeps missing. Anyway, now is the time for you to get more rest. You must be getting cranky due to how many hours you've had to stay up. I gotta go before Frankenvalker gets suspicious.
Hey, stranger. I saw these stars outside. They're in the shape of a handprint.
At least we got light now. Were the Steve the chosen race? Are we still the chosen race? I sure am the legendary Steve. It's still sure of a shame that I couldn't save the Dark in time. No! I can't think negative after what I've done, and I can't think negative now. We've gotten ourselves into this house, we can get back out again.
I don't wanna die.
We can't give up after what we've been through.
We've got so many things to do.
Can I get in there with you? I forgot to thank you for not throwing me out. I guess you care a lot about me. You might be too old for me, but I would have become homesick as well as a mangled thread if you did. Listen, if you get scared in a situation like this, hug me tightly. I don't need to breathe if I'm a doll.
I wonder if the necrorubies will be able to revive us.
Doesn't it sound exciting?
To bring back your kind.
Not really.